Okay, so your notes over topic 3.1 involve estimating. And so we're starting our decimal operations chapter or topic, and it's all about adding, subtracting, multiplying, and dividing decimals. So to help us out, we're just going to start with estimating. So to start at the top, it says to estimate means to find an approximate answer or solution. And then you use rounding to quickly estimate sums and differences by rounding the numbers to the same place value. Last one, another way of rounding is called front-end estimation. And front end is right here. Okay, so on number 1, the directions say round each number to the nearest whole number. So if you look at it, 20.791, nearest whole number. Whole numbers are the numbers in front of the decimal. So if you look 1 to the right, we see a 7. And rounding is if the number is 5 or greater, the number to the right is 5 or greater, you round up. So since 7 is greater than 5, this becomes 21. This 5, look 1 to the right, it's a 2, which is less than 5. So that stays as 5. And then you have 9.2. That 2 is smaller than 5, so that stays as 9. So you would have 21 plus 5 plus 9. And then when you add all of that together, you get 35. So that's just estimating. Obviously, once you add in all of these decimals behind the whole numbers, the answer is not going to be a solid 35, but it should be close to 35, which is why we estimate. Number 2 still says nearest whole number. So you would have, it's talking about dollars this time, but $10, 10 is the whole number. So look 1 to the right, and it's number 1. That is smaller than 5, so it stays as 10. And then we have 3.69. 3 is the whole number. Look 1 to the right, and it's greater than 5, so that rounds up to 4. So now it's just 10 minus 4. And 10 minus 4 is 6. Front-end estimation is where you literally just take the first number. So instead of having 7 or having to worry about rounding, you just have 7, and then that's a 2 plus 9. So front-end estimation doesn't have any rounding involved. It's just you take the whole number, and just add them up. So now you have 7 plus 2 plus 9, which gives you 18. Try number 4 on your own. It's still using front end. So you just take the first number, and this is subtracting. So make sure that you subtract this number from this number. All right, so 91 minus 30 gives you 61. All right, Number 5 is being blocked, but you can look at it on your notes. It says 17.058 minus 8.623. And this says round each answer to the nearest tenth. So if you look at the first 17.05, the 10th spot is the number that's directly after the decimal. So the 10th spot in number 5 would be the 0. So you look 1 to the right, and there's a 5 next to it, which means the 0 rounds up. So now you're looking at 17.1 instead of 17.058. 8.623 right here. The 6 is in the tens place. So you look 1 to the right, and it's a 2. That's less than 5, so it stays as 8.6. Okay, so when you set that up, 17.1 minus 8.6, let me move to the next slide. So you can't really see it on this either, but 17.1 minus 8.6 is what we're going to be doing tomorrow. So if you don't understand it quite yet, that's okay. But you have to set them up, subtract them, and then use borrowing or grouping, depends on what you want to call it, to get your answer. But on the answer to number 5, you would get 8.5 as your final answer. Number 6, I can actually show you because it's not being blocked, but it still says round to the nearest tenth. 38.83. So 38 and then 8's in the tenths. Look 1 to the right. It's smaller than 5. So you would have 38.8 plus, and then 15.62. Look 1 to the right of our tens place, which is the 6. It's smaller than 5, so it stays as just 15.6. And then if you look here, if you set them up, make sure the decimal places are aligned, and then you would go from right to left. So 8 plus 6 would give you 14. So you add the 1 up here, and then drop the 4 below. Bring down your decimal. Now we have 8 plus 5 plus 1, which again is 14. So you put the 1 up here, drop the 4. Now we have 3 plus 1 plus this other one, which gives you 54.4. And that should be a review of 5th grade, but if you don't remember how to do it, that's what we're doing tomorrow. So make sure that all of your notes are copied down and that it looks like this screen. You might need to pause it. And then we still have one more thing to do after you get done copying your notes. All right, so after you've completely copied that down and you've glued it in your notebook, you're going to have one more task, and this is called WSQ, which stands for what did you watch, summary, and then questions. So you're just going to answer those questions on a separate sheet of paper. And what did you watch is like the topics or the subtopics. So the topic of this would have been estimating decimals. And then summary is just in 3 sentences. You just need to describe what you watched. And then questions you have after you watched it. So anything that you're unsure about or anything that you just have to ask about, write that under questions. You need to have an answer for all 3 things, and then you will turn that into me. So make sure you put your name on it. And then after you finish this and you put your notebook away, you're going to do what the rest of the class is doing for the rest of the hour.